Hi, my name is Michael Ogechi Abbey with Enterprise Express Tax Service. I'm starting my new series on the different tax schedules or within the form 1040 tax form. I'm starting today with the Schedule C. Let's talk a little bit about what the Schedule C is. If you earn income from self-employment, or if you're a sole proprietor, or if you work for an employer who decides to pay you with a 1099 instead of a W-2, it is very likely that you're going to have to create a form, Schedule C, on your tax form, or your accountant will have to create a Schedule C tax form. Why is a Schedule C needed? Well, the thing is, when you get paid with a 1099, or even if you don't get paid with a 1099, let's say you start up a business as a sole proprietor and you have earnings from that business, well, you have to account for those earnings. Typically, if you had a W 2, you could input that information on the Form 1040. The W 2 would show the taxes that have been deducted, any health insurance that has been deducted, and any other items, for instance, that need to be put on your 1040 tax form. Some of that is extricated from your W-2. However, if you're a sole proprietor and you don't get paid with a W-2 and you say you don't get paid with a 1099, you still have to account for that income. The only way to do that on a tax form is to include it on a Schedule C. With the Schedule C, you'll input the earnings that you made, and at the same time, you will have the opportunity to also itemize your business expenses. And this could include items, for instance, like mileage. It could include insurance, any commissions paid. It could include any legal costs that you had to pay. It may also include meals that you had to pay for during the course of doing your business. It could also include utilities, cell phone bills, things like that. So one of the advantages of the Schedule C is it will give you the opportunity to itemize those business expenses that could counteract the fact that you did not, pay taxes at source. Typically when you're self-employed or a sole proprietor, you have to pay taxes, when the tax year ends, or when you're doing your taxes, unless of course you have been paying estimated taxes. But that's another topic for a different time. But I do advise all my self-employed clients to start paying estimated taxes. And that way, what happens is that when it comes time to get your taxes done with your accountant, you already have something in the bank that counteracts that pretty high self-employment tax that you have to pay as a self-employed person. Now, again, if you are going to use a Schedule C, or if your accountant is using a Schedule C, it could also be that you are employed, but you get paid with a 1099. This means that the taxes were not deducted at source, and therefore you have to account or pay those taxes before the deadline of the tax deadline. In this case, you can also use a Schedule C to account for that 1099 income. We're talking about a couple of different 1099 forms. It could be a 1099 NEC, it could be a 1099K, or it could be a 1099 miscellaneous form. But with either one of these forms, you can use the Schedule C to, one, account for that income, and also to account for any expenses you had during the course of earning that income. So once again, it's a brief summary of the Schedule C and what it's used to do. Again, typically, if you're self-employed, if you earn income with a 1099, and by the way, if you earn income solely with a 1099, the IRS does see you as a self-employed person or a contractor at best. Bear in mind, however, that sometimes you may work with an employer and earn your income with a W-2 and still earn additional income with a 1099. Now, if that's the case where you're getting both a W-2 and a 1099, you will have to prepare a regular tax return, but you will still have to include a Schedule C within your 1040 form in order to account for the 1099 income in most cases. In some cases, you don't have to. Your accountant will determine this. In some cases, you can account for the 1099 income on the regular 1040 form. But in my experience, in most cases, especially if the income is above a certain level, you probably will have to use a Schedule C. So once again, this is Michael Abbey with Enterprise Express Tax Service. This is my series on the different schedules. Next time, I'll be talking about the Schedule E if you have rental or investment property. Have a blessed day.